welcome to Health Q&A Monday. My name is Gill Stannard. I'm a naturopath and health and happiness coach. And I'm here to answer your questions. So are the rainbow lorikeets that are going to chat outside in Sydney. And there may be the odd plane overhead. But let's give this a go. I've got a question today from Catherine. And Catherine's asked me if I agree with her mother's GP's advice. Catherine's mum has recently been diagnosed with osteopenia, and so he's told her to have lots of dairy foods to get more calcium. I may have been planted this question, I think, Catherine, if you have followed Health Trip or read my blog over the years. So let's look a little bit about the myths around strong bones and the role that dairy foods may or may not play in this process. I'm mystified why GPs continue, and dietitians alike, and other conventional medical people who worship evidence-based medicine, while they continue to promote this myth. There are long, big studies that repeatedly show that women and men who take their recommended daily allowance of calcium in the form of dairy have as many or more fractures as their elderly friends who do not. So we know it doesn't prevent fractures. There's another study in the BMJ last year in October 2014 that also mentioned that those who were found to drink 3 or more glasses of milk a day didn't live as long as their friends who drank less. So let's look at what can actually get the calcium into the bones and keep it there. So calcium is really important, but so too is a co-nutrient called magnesium. We need about half as much magnesium as we do calcium for it to be metabolized and mineralized in the bone. We also need another vitamin called vitamin K, which we find mostly in leafy green vegetables for part of that bone mineralization. Most of all, to drive the calcium into the bones, we need vitamin D, plus weight-bearing exercise. So it's not a case of popping calcium in some form and it's strengthening your bones. Now, where dairy kind of came into the picture before we were less informed is that yes, if you analyse most dairy foods, they are very high in calcium. They're also very, very low in magnesium. And maybe that's why they are not so great for bone mineralisation. So even lower amounts of calcium in some plant-based foods, like seeds and beans and nuts, which have more magnesium, we seem to use more readily. Don't discount the vitamin D. Now, we know that vitamin D is synthesized in our skin from sunshine. The darker your skin is naturally, the more of it you need. And of course, where you're living in latitudes where you don't get much sunlight, that's a problem. You're probably never going to get enough access to sunshine to have healthy vitamin D levels. Vitamin D should be at least 50 milligrams, if not 75, and up to about 100 or a little bit more. Most Australians are low in vitamin D despite the sunshine. It can be because we're very good at slip, slop, slapping, or it could be that more of us are working indoors and just not getting enough sun. So you may need to supplement. You can ask your doctor to test your vitamin D, but with the new Medicare rulings of late 2014 in Australia, they may be reluctant to do so. They will probably just say, take a vitamin D supplement. It is unlikely to do you any harm, and it is very likely to do you some good and help your bones. But don't forget to walk. Don't forget to do weight-bearing exercise with your arms. Don't forget to do some strength exercise, anything that makes the bones in your body healthily bear some weight. Now, the other side of the picture is how we lose calcium from our bones. Caffeine and alcohol are notorious for this, unfortunately. So too much protein. And protein in the form of red meat gets a double whammy here because it's quite high in phosphorus. Phosphorus can also leach calcium from our bones. Another common source of phosphorus is fizzy drinks, potentially even carbonated water. It's not just about the sugar, not just about the alkalinity. We have a little visitor, but I'm not going to finish. This is Mishka. He often joins me for Health Q&A Monday. He doesn't drink milk. So, thank you for your question, Catherine. I don't think you're necessarily going to convince your mum. There is links to quite a few studies on my site. If you Google bones and calcium at gillstannard.com.au. But in the meantime, you can ask me a question, and anyone else who's watching, and send it to coaching@gillstannard.com.au, or you can tweet me at herbalgill. I'll see you soon. Send me a line.